Hi, I'm Kate Hill with Kate Hill Company. I work to get schools to a one-to-one program, which means one device per student and making that a functional and comfortable situation for teachers and students. Please navigate to www.katehillco.weebly.com for resources that will assist you in your path. And today's topic is image design and updates. So the one thing the first thing that you need to consider after you've chosen your device is how will that be loaded and ready for each student at distribution. So you need to determine the software needed on each machine. So to begin with, you're going to want to talk to the department chairs of each department, and you're going to want to find out what they intend to do with these devices. You want them to search for specific apps and find resources that will work for them. And then once you have that, you want to compile a list of things that can be automatically installed that the student doesn't have to do once they get the machine. So is there a certain picture that you want on the back? Is there a specific way that you want them to log on? Is there a Wi-Fi SSID that you want them automatically logged in and useful as soon as they receive their tablets? By the way, that's a really good idea. You want to make sure that you've tested all these apps and websites and software and make sure that you have a complete compilation of everything that you want installed on those tablets. And then you can navigate whether you want to ghost them yourself or if you want to have the company that you purchased them from set that up for you. It is possible to have the company, you can give them an image that you want the desktop to look like, and you can give them the links and the apps and the software that you want installed, and then you can have every device imaged so that when it arrives on your location, they're ready to roll. And I highly recommend that. There is an extra cost involved in that, and it depends on who the company is, how many you're buying, what that fee is. But you should be aware that it's a capability, and it might save you a lot of work and hours on the front end when you're about to distribute those tablets or laptops. The next thing that you want to do is decide on some naming conventions. So you really want to make sure that it's easy to track these devices. Instead of just having a bunch of asset tags in a mobile device manager, you want to make sure that you name them something that is specific to you. If it's a student ID number, you want to put that name in your in the machine name so that you have a reliable asset tag that you can track. So you want to put a bunch of pre-thought into that. It should have your school name or an abbreviation for it so that it's not completely out in the open, and then something that would reference each school, each student, and then maybe the school year they graduate so that it's easy to track them. The next thing that you want to consider is technical support. You want to assess your technical staff needs. So to the best of your ability, you might want to talk to area schools and find out, based on your population and your technical expertise of your teachers, how many staff members do you think it's going to take to support this activity? The way that a school of about 1,400 students would do it, 1,400 students, and then we have about 100 staff. We have 2 technology support technicians that support the staff. So the teachers rely on these 2 individuals when anything goes wrong, or when they need to test a lesson plan, or try something new, or try new software or a new web tool. They work with these support specialists to make sure that they understand what they're doing and feel confident, so they always have that resource there for them. Then we have a third technology person that really just assists the students. Now what that person does is she manages a group of students that are able to assist, and she's able to count on to re-image devices, make minor fixes, and to support some of the more common problems. And then she is more the second level support for when something a little bit bigger is she's the second level support for when something major is happening or the first level can't answer it. So there's 3 technology support people in a building of supporting about 1,600 people. So that should give you a rough idea of how you could manage yours. You have to determine what are your policies and procedures for lost, damaged, or theft or non-functioning tablets. What exactly are the rules and policies that will be put in place in your school to make sure that there is the least amount of disruption to your classes and to your parents when a problem such as this occurs? If you'd like examples of how I direct schools to handle these situations, please go to my website and purchase the book that has all the documentation that I suggest you put in there. And now this covers teacher procedure manuals, which you put in there for technology, what we have the parents sign, a test tablet distribution to cover a school legally, and the communications and technology plan that the teachers have to sign at the beginning of the year that tells them the specifics on what they can and cannot do to make sure that they are covered for any of these situations. So it's a communications and electronic policy. These references should be a really good starting point for you creating your own documentation. And it really, in these documents, it phrases it so that the school is not liable for, legally responsible for theft, loss, damage, and it shows you exactly, it spells out how things are set up so that you're covered for any of these problems. And then the last thing that I want to talk about today is a loaner pool. So if your school owns these devices or leases them and turns around and gives them to the student, you're going to need a loaner pool for when things go wrong. If there is that loss, damage, theft, what does the student do? Can they just not participate in class? Well, that's where the loaner pool comes in. And really what is recommended is a 10% loaner pool. So if we have 1,400 students, then you're going to want a loaner pool of 140 devices. Now, in schools where this seemed extraordinary and financially the business office was not ready to handle that big of a loaner pool, we've been sorry. The schools have been sorry. Anybody that goes with the 10% loaner pool, there's been enough on the shelf to cover any problems, anything that's going on. Where it's less than that, students have had to wait or share with another student. So I recommend that 10%, or at least I'd say, at least 8%. You're going to want to have an 8% loaner pool to incur any problems that are going on. So I hope this has been helpful. Please continue to watch in the video series. I've made the mistakes, so you don't have to. Take care. Bye.